Transforming bracket!
What's going on, everyone? So Mortal Kombat is on HBO Max as of the filming of this video, and also is in theaters. I was very fortunate enough to see this in theaters in IMAX. This was a movie that, yes, I did happen to see the trailer, and I believe it's because I saw Godzilla vs. Kong. When I saw the movie for that, I saw the trailer for this. So obviously when I saw the trailer, I was like, yeah, that could be fun, especially since it's R-rated. I was like, a studio's doing an R-rated movie. That's pretty cool. That's dope. Now, I do want to give some background information. First thing, I have never played a Mortal Kombat video game. In fact, I'm not a gamer, as many of you probably know. I'm not a gamer in the slightest. I haven't played a video game in such a long time. Years, many years. And Mortal Kombat was something that I heard, obviously, in passing, like a lot of people praising the video games. So I know that it's something that obviously is critically acclaimed in that department. And then I also heard about the movies. Like when I was a young teenager, I did want to see the movies, but I never got around to watching them for some reason. And I was actually planning to watch them in preparation for this movie. But I just never got around to watching it. And in retrospect, I guess that's kind of a good thing because apparently they're supposed to be pretty bad, which obviously is a trend with video game movies. But I thought maybe this movie would be different because obviously it is something that, you know, it's R-rated. It's a studio taking a risk with that in its own. But here's the thing. And the reason why I'm saying this about, you know, having not played video games and everything is because I want to address this first. I personally think that a video game and a movie are two different art forms. So you can't be like, well, the movie, you know, was paying homage to this video game, you know, and so you should have played the video game. No, that's not how it works. Honestly, because it's two different art forms, it should be where a video game, when it has like stuff that is put into like the movie, it should be like an Easter egg. It shouldn't be like the main part. It should be something that enhances the movie. It should be like a hot sauce. It shouldn't be the main meat, so to speak. It shouldn't be that you have to play 100 hours worth of a video game to get everything that's going on. It should be something that you as a viewer just have to be able to digest it in those 2 hours. But that in itself is a flaw because, no. What's going on, everyone? So Mortal Kombat is on HBO Max currently as of the filming of this video, as well as in theaters. I was very fortunate enough to be able to see it in theaters. I got to see it in IMAX. I was pretty pumped about this movie. I have never played a Mortal Kombat video game. I've never seen a Mortal Kombat movie either. I'm not a gamer myself. I haven't played a video game in years, many years. But I was intrigued by this movie because it is a studio movie that it happens to be R-rated. That's something that I've noticed studios are taking more and more risks for, which obviously I want to support, given the fact that, I mean, there was one point in time where every movie pretty much had to be PG-13. So I was excited about that. And also the fact that, again, with it being R-rated, it kind of gave me that proliferity that, hey, this might actually be a good video game movie, which is very rare and far and few between. So I was intrigued by that. But I'm saying about how the background information about how I haven't played the video games and everything, because I just want to say this. Despite having not played the video games, I know that video games, because it's like, I don't know, sometimes it's like a couple hundred hours, right? A couple hundred hours condensing in a 2-hour movie is not going to be easy in the slightest. In fact, it's going to be near impossible, which is why The Last of Us getting adapted into a TV show, I think actually will work, especially with it being HBO. It's probably going to be great. But condensing 100 hours in a 2-hour movie just doesn't work unless you streamline it, unless you have it where you focus specifically on something. So I'm saying all of this, having said that, because this movie feels both underwritten and overwritten. And I know that seems like a contradiction, but on one span, you have these characters and storytelling that it's just so been there, done that. And I know the Mortal Kombat video games are something that apparently were groundbreaking and everything, so it just kind of feels like a disservice to the movies. I mean, not the movies. It feels a disservice to the video games itself, given that fact. The other thing I wanted to mention is the characters. These are characters that are very boring, very bland. I wasn't really intrigued by any of the characters, and I thought that the comedic relief, there's one character that just cracks jokes every 5 seconds. He tells like 100 jokes, maybe 1 or 2 lands, but I just feel like maybe it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe syndrome, where, you know, you have a studio that's like, oh, Marvel did it well. Let's copy and paste that formula. But this movie, it just doesn't work because characters do things that just feel very much so out of character. There's one character that literally switches sides, and it's like, you didn't think you could actually change me, did you? And it was kind of like, bro, you literally just switched sides. Why? And it's like, just because. Like, I don't know. It just felt very much so confusing. The other thing I wanted to mention is the visual effects are they're very bland. I was very surprised by that. They're not terrible or anything. They just weren't interesting. And before I go into other negatives, because those negatives are actually going to kind of infuriate me, I do want to say that not all is lost. And I know I normally don't start off with the negatives, but I just wanted to get all that out of the way. There are some positives to be had. This movie has a great costume design. It has great production design. The opening scene is fantastic. I actually really dug the opening scene. I thought it really set the stone for the movie very well. It reminded me a lot of like a Western, which I really dug. And then also the makeup. Makeup's outstanding. I really think that was a strong suit as well. That being said, this is a movie that even if you are just wanting an action movie, it doesn't even succeed on that. Doesn't even succeed on the action. How? How does it not succeed on the action, you might ask? How? Well, I'll tell you why. Because, yes, there's blood. For sure, there is blood. But it's only when there's actually a kill. When there's actually sword fights and everything, it shoots it as if it's a PG-13 movie. Not as if there are actors from the Raid movies. Why? You literally have actors from the Raid movies and The Night Comes From Us, and what do? Well, one of the characters, you don't even have them in that much, but when you do, how do you shoot the movie? You don't shoot with wide angles. You know what you do? You shoot it as if it's like this. You ready? Imagine if I shot the review like this, guys. Is this interesting? Is this interesting? Like, how would you imagine if I shot this? Would you like it? No, nobody wants that. Nobody wants that at all. Like, what the heck? Like I just don't understand. It's 2021, guys. Like, you would think an R-rated movie would know not to shoot a movie as if Oliver Megaton of Taken 2 and 3 were directing it. Why? Why? Oh, you might argue it's a first-time director. I don't care. You know what? I don't care. Because I made a $4,000 budget movie with better action scenes than this movie. Mortal Kombat's action scenes aren't interesting in the slightest. You can't tell what's going on at the time. Paul Greengrass does a great job with it, in my opinion. But a director like this doesn't cut it. It doesn't cut it. You have characters in story that aren't interesting, so at least compensate with a great action set piece. One. That's all I'm asking for. One. Besides the opening scene. That's all I wanted, guys. That's all I wanted. I was like, I can't get anything from the characters. Can't get anything from the story. Can't get anything from the world building because the world building makes it seem like just an average fantasy movie. Oh, well, what am I going to do? I'm going to go to these hack frauds expecting an action scene. And guess what? Didn't get an action scene that went well. Oh, well, I guess I'll leave home and I'll go screw myself. Oh, well. You know what? Maybe I'll just stick with the Raid movies. I don't know, guys. You know what? Mortal Kombat, it's like, if you think this is a groundbreaking video game, that's awesome. But certainly isn't a groundbreaking movie. You know, I told myself I wouldn't freak out with this movie. I told myself I wouldn't. I freaked out when it first saw it. I freaked out, but you know what? At the same time, you know what? Like, Drive, it's a great movie. Why on God's green earth was this movie made besides to make money? Why? I get it, it's a studio movie. I get it that they're trying to make a profit, but like, give audience members something to grasp on. Like I said, ever since I started making feature-length movies, I told myself, don't freak out to movies. Don't. I didn't freak out to 365 Days despite wanting to. I was like, you know what? Now, be easy on that movie because, there's so many movies where it's like these directors, they have visions and, they have a lot to say. They have a lot to say. This movie had nothing to say. This movie just... I'm done. I feel like Robert Storm's now. That parasite rat. I'm done. Guys, Mortal Kombat, I'm giving it a 1/2 5-star rating. If you liked it, whatever. It's awesome. That's great. I guess I'm just going to have to go, get my subscription to HBO Max again. Just for The Last of Us. I don't know, guys. I'll go screw myself later. I don't know. Whatever. Mortal Kombat, 1/2 5 stars. If you liked it, don't forget the subscription notification. I'll catch you guys later. I'm done.